Do it. Do it.
I'm gonna get real weird with it.
A little much.
Well put. Thank you very much, sir.
Hit it.
Yeah!
Hello and welcome. Episode 4 of Figure It Out. Thank you for joining on this on a beautiful Thursday night. So many people in the chats already. Let's bring in some other people. We've got the one, the only, Just Jay. And if that weren't enough, we've got this other guy. Hello, gentlemen. Yeah, flex it out, baby. Flex it out. Oh.
Did you hear that pop? Oh my God.
God, I felt that pop. Good Lord.
I got to go to the hospital. Good show.
Jesus,
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
But wait, there's more.
Well, yes, but we've got a little intro for it. Are you ready?
Oh, what? We don't even have intros.
Are you ready?
The fuck?
Let's go.
Who's there?
Papa?
Papa.
My father.
My father?
Who can it be?
My father.
Who the hell is that guy?
Dad.
It's my dad, John Kukovich, all the way from Springfield, Missouri.
All the way.
Whoop, whoop.
Scott.
How is everybody doing this evening?
Fucking fantastic.
Great.
Wolverines, motherfucker.
Wolva fucking Reens.
Yeah. Get you some of that.
Yeah, my shoulder hurts real bad.
Ooh. Yeah.
You gotta take it easy, man. You can't
Cheers, Chad.
be doing that.
Jeff, you moving me?
No.
You son of a! I want to spill the beer. I don't want to spill beer on your beautiful shirt. Chat, please tell my con husband how beautiful he looks today. Look at this.
Freaking fantastic. He's ready to
Are
solve
you going on a
all
Hawaiian vacation? Because I fucking am.
Hell yeah, brother.
Here you get laid in Hawaii. Let's do this.
Go. The Catrona's in the house. Oh, speaking of Kukoviches.
Nope.
Hi, Mom.
Am.
Boom.
You got that right, Tony.
Chap, thank you for showing up tonight. I've been drinking a lot, so get ready for a blast. Jeff, how about you?
I had half of a bottle of Crown, so I'm all right. I'm kind of mellowed out now.
Yeah, okay.
Hell yeah.
Mr. John Kukovich, are you drinking anything tonight?
No, I'm not
Are
actually.
you straight edge? Just water?
So I got a little caffeinated drink here. So.
There you go.
Ooh.
At this time of night, even I don't do that. My God, you're madman.
Yeah, I'm a wild man.
He's living on the edge. Wild card.
And crazy guy. Wild card. All right. I think we just jump into it
We should probably jump into it.
with
Let's
our
go.
new segment that's new because our show is new. Get this figure out.
The jazz hands are for when we have a actual video segment. Because this is the only fancy thing I can do.
My wrist just
I like
cracked too. I can't do jazz hands anymore.
Good
either.
Lord, you are falling apart on screen.
I'm falling apart, man.
Can you stretch beforehand or something?
Everybody knows in a good
So
community
tired of
living
hearing your
home
body break.
for the elderly, go ahead and email those to me at lothos.jeff@gmail.com.
I'm not looking for charity. I'm not looking for charity, guys. Okay? No, don't do it.
My
Like, if you
God.
get him a community home in Kansas, he's probably okay with that. Just,
Zach keeps making the sounds that Bane made Batman's back make.
I was born in the hospital, Mikey.
Not that one. God damn it. Huh.
It's like the only impression I can do, Mr.
Pretty
Kukovich,
good.
because Mikey does them all too well.
Yeah. I don't
I think
even
Christopher
try with
Walken.
percent around. So
Christopher Walken. Who's got one for
Bane is your ally.
John, as the guest, would you like to start off with GTFO?
do you have a
Yeah.
figure to open?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I bought this a little bit ago on Amazon because it was cheap. This is like one of those low key Marvel characters that I just adore, but I'm not too concerned about Cersei here. But this Black Knight, this is pretty cool. This from that '90s era when everybody was rocking jackets because they got tired of drawing pockets.
The 90s, jackets,
Jackets on
straps,
everything.
buckles, pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I kind of have a fondness for the Black Knight because he was like one of my favorite live action characters. I don't know if you guys knew that there was a live action version of the Black Knight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you bring that a little closer?
Look at this absolute badass.
That
And if you're
Yeah,
not sure about the era,
clear.
we got the CRT screen back there just to remind you that this is straight up 1990s goodness.
Is that a small Harry Carey that I'm seeing there?
You son of a bitch.
If you could shake the picture to simulate Harry Carey, I think that would really do
I
it.
had to get
Will that do it? If I shake it?
Hey, you got any X-Men fruit snacks?
Go wash those down with a cool Capri Sun.
Ooh. What were the little juice jugs called that had the aluminum foil cap? That would have been actually more accurate. Capri Suns
Oh, yeah.
were not in the budget.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. I appreciate
That was
that.
glorious.
I knew you would.
I needed that.
When I was looking, I was in the basement and I was like, what am I going to open? I was looking at all my Fisher Price stuff, and I was like, I could do that. And then I was like, you know what? No, there's that Black Knight there. I have an idea.
Okay, now stop the show right now. Okay, we talked about this because when you and Mikey streamed last time, I think we talked about it, or Mikey told me about this. Somebody stops you about that Firefox poster, and then if you show off that custom that you have, it'll blow Scott Hughes's mind right now.
Yeah, you really will.
Why is that?
Because
He loves that fucking movie. He loves it. It is like one of his favorite things in the world.
The custom I have, the classified one.
Whoever has the custom Firefox,
you?
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
In the flight suit with the Clint Eastwood head sculpt?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
Nah, I don't care. In.
I mean, it's no Dutch,
Yeah, I know.
but
Yeah, look at that shit.
yeah, it's just a dyed mole rat body with the head and the helmet I found on eBay. It's not a helmet. It's like from a statue or something.
Mm-hmm. How are those figures looking, John?
Look
There you
all right.
go. This lightsaber.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, he's all right. He looks pretty good. He's got a few issues that these things have when they shove them in the box.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's overall, I really like the scales on the legs. I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's no
And
Renfest
Scott-
sword, that's for sure.
Scott, I did the
No.
same damn thing when they were showing that off on their stream. I was like, shut. I don't care whatever you're talking about. I want Firefox. I'm going to see that custom. Talk about that for the rest of the stream. And then Mikey was telling me, John, that you get that every time you guys do a stream or a show, that someone loses their shit over the Firefox.
It's a good poster.
Yeah,
Somebody
I mean,
always called it out.
and I always tell people it's an original, it's like a theater poster. You know, it's been folded down the middle. I mean, it is like what they hung up in the theater when you went to see the show.
Oh, I don't know if Jerk has seen that yet. He might have I think he might have been on that stream.
But yeah,
he's huge in the movie posters.
Yeah,
absolutely one of my favorite pieces.
It's a cool one.
So Jay or Zach, what do you got to open up for us, if anything?
Oh yeah. Well, I pre-did this.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to spend that much time fiddle fucking around with it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm tired of Mikey with his red freaking rhino. So I had to show him that Black Minotaurs matter here by breaking this bad boy out. Talus?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I do. I'm like trying to get this to where it'll get in the light a little bit better. Mikey, I don't know how much trouble you had switching out the feet on yours on the red rhino.
None.
I got a pump right before the show, changing these feet out with the heat gun and everything. I was
really
freaking die. Oh my god! Trying to get not taking them off. The human feet pop right off. Getting these hooves on. Oh yeah, buddy. Bam! I feel.
You got the muscles.
Full. I mean, I pulled something earlier when I was putting the feet on, but you know.
That tracks.
Yeah, this guy, Zesray Studios, Zesray Studios, any one of those same bucks with different heads and different colors, I think are well worth getting. I love this thing.
They're badass.
So that's my GTFO.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mikey, what about you? What do you got to crack open?
Well, I didn't pre-do mine. But I have NECA Terminator that I've yet to open.
Holy shit.
Ooh. Where'd you pick that up at?
I picked that up at Castaway Toys in Lenexa, Kansas.
Shout out for Kansas there.
Shout out Castaway Toys.
There you go. We're looking for sponsors.
Yes.
Yes, 78 points of articulation.
We sure are. We would love to showcase your art in our hands at our home.
We'd love it.
And also pickups too, by the way. So that also counts during this segment. Because everyone, Jeff recently moved. He is in a far better place now.
No more kitchens 2025. My camera doesn't look like shit either, so, you know, it's not like I'm coming at you from a Wi-Fi signal that is barely keeping itself alive. And the fact that, you know, Dobby hasn't barked once should tell everyone everything about how I feel.
Hell yeah, bro. Here, I'm going to make you big on this one. Yeah, you.
Oh, I'm opening things now?
Yeah, hell yeah. Look at this guy. Look at he's already into him. Oh, whoa. Demonetized.
Whoa.
Hang on.
Whoa. It's not that kind of show. So this was a gift that my con husband bought me from Kansas. So I have a pretty strict fucking Night Force guy, but I really liked this dock. And we were shopping around, and Zach was like, let's find the cheapo one at Target. So we did, and Zach was kind enough to purchase it for me. So this figure is rad. I don't like the clip-on parts, but I'm probably going to take his vest off.
Yes.
And have him as Doc, you know. And I'll probably slap a Valaverse vest on him. Just because. But
I'm
excited.
Oh, let me get picky again. Boop.
But I'm excited about this figure. I'll put them together later. I'm not going to right now. So.
No, it's a great figure. But you also hooked me up. He got me a Swarm Tracer and some dice and a picture of the Defiant that Suka has yet to get. Shout out to Suka if he ever watches this.
It's because I love you, buddy.
Well, Jerk picked that Defiant up. He picked up that. My God, how many collections did he have? I mean, that Cops and Crooks collection was fucking blew my fucking mind.
That was
nice.
God, what else did he get? But anyway, so that Defiant. So he picked up the Defiant. Looked at it like it was in pretty good shape. My buddy who says, "Hey, I want to get rid of this Defiant." after DFW. Okay, cool, man. If you saw me, you reached out to me. I got people who'll buy that. Hey, buddy, you still want that Defiant? Sold? I got people. Hey, buddy. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him defiant.
I understand that. In the reselling world, I'll have multiple friends tell me, "Hey, I want to get rid of my collection." Okay, great. I'll go to their house. I'll price it out for them. They'll pay me for that because that's my time. And then they'll be like, "Well, it's not worth as much as we thought, so I don't think we're gonna get rid of them." So thanks, because there's a lot of like emotion, with collections and stuff. They're not really granny.
Sure.
Yeah,
so. I'm with you. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a shameless plug now. I'm gonna forget later because I'm gonna keep drinking. By the way,
yeah.
Really?
Tomorrow night, the stars aligned. I didn't know what to get Abby with Figure Fight Club for Christmas, so I got a me.
Aww.
So, Legend Series, another part of our family, is going to be on with Abby tomorrow night. Illustrated Figs, Ninja, the articulated kind, and myself. We're going to be on his show tomorrow night, so check them out. Abby's a madman. He's awesome. He's doing giveaways. I always giving away. I think sometimes he just goes, you know what? I'm going to give away more shit and just grab some stuff.
That makes sense. Dude, this thing's freaking sweet.
Hell yeah. Bring that up, buddy.
That's pretty dope.
How many watts is that plasma rifle?
Huh?
How many watts is that plasma rifle?
About 350.
350. It's 21.1 gigawatts. Just what you see on the rack, pal. Uzi 9mm.
Uzi 9mm.
Colt 45 long slide with laser sighting.
12,000 megawatt plasma cannon.
Oh, wow.
That looks good, man.
That's really cool.
That looks better than the Mafex one, because the Mafex one, if you look at it wrong, all of those pipes holding the inner workings together will snap.
Yeah.
Buddy,
this definitely feels like this one could. This one feels...
Well, that Mafex one too, Jeff, it just scales smaller, if it was just maybe, that's what she said, an inch taller.
Right.
One more inch. One more. Yeah, I'll be saying be careful with the arms there.
Yeah. I mean, scaling him next to Jeff, pretty good.
Feel like I need to do some parkour while I chase a guy that has a bomb. That dude with the bomb's gonna get away, by the way. There's no way I'm keeping up with him unless there's like a car I could break into and chase him that way.
Hey, you can't.
I don't do foot pursuits.
Wrong.
Next to Lee Majors, who's been such a good boy this year. Perfect.
Love it.
Perfect.
The $6 million man versus the Terminator.
That's right.
Guys. Count us. Scatter, everybody. Next channel. Go to the next channel.
Hey, K-Man.
Get on now.
Go on now. Alpha Red. Ken's Toys. What's up, guys?
What up, y'all?
What up, y'all? Have we met somebody in the chat? We're sorry.
We love you.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. You know what?
Thanks for watching while we figure it out.
Does anyone else have any pickups they want to show off?
That's it for pickups for me.
I got stuff from actually, you know what? I will share 2 pickups. I'll pick, 3 pickups is what I'll share. Oh, thank you. So I went to GameStop and I already have 3, but I hear Woody, the figure addict, is buying all these up and there's gonna be a shortage.
It's true.
So I bought a 4th one just because.
It's true.
And then at Target, I've been to my 3 Targets.
You found one.
Yes, and then randomly, it looked like maybe someone returned it or some shit, or they found it under a shelf. Shout out to Rocco. And they had it on the shelf, and I went up top and I tried scanning it, and the scanner said "See service representative" or something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I got up front. This very nice lady was like, "So what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, I was trying to buy this, but it said the scanner didn't work." She's like, "Oh yeah, I don't see anything on there." I'm like, "Well, I'm showing, I got some Instagram pictures of $10." She's like, here's $9.99. Let me get that. Oh,
Sweet.
Thank you.
I was reading stories of people that when it comes up with that, they bring it to an associate and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to take that."
Yeah, because it means it's going to salvage or whatever. So
I have not heard that. And then I didn't really want this.
Oh, OG Red Hood.
But I saw my buddy. I was like, I don't know if my buddy Jeff would want this. I mean, it's not Mayfex. So I'll probably just throw it away.
Just put it in the trash.
I reached out to Gaines because Gaines, Mr. McFarlane. I think they just send everything to his fucking house because he has everything. I love you.
They should.
At the same time, Gaines. So I picked them up just in case because I always return them. But I want to see if my brother wanted this. So Jeff, do you want this?
Yes, please.
Merry Christmas. I'll bring it when I do the housewarming.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I noticed those Iron Grenadiers went out of stock after I showed how high they could goose step. He doubled down on it.
It was like, whoa.
That's a high. That's like a Monty Python goose step.
1931 Germany went, whoa. Easy.
This seems oddly familiar, yeah?
I'm gonna get us canceled. I have all the jokes that are too close. They're too close. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Any joke you make would surely burn them.
Because Jeff is bougie like that, Quinn.
You probably would, but don't call me Shirley.
He called you bougie.
That's okay. I am pretty bougie.
You are tonight.
I am tonight. Look at me. I got my Hawaiian shirt on. I got a big fucking smile on my face. I'm not in a goddamn kitchen. It doesn't look like I'm coming at you from someone's basement. Life is good.
I will say this. If I wasn't married and I wasn't heterosexual, I'd buy you a drink.
I'd appreciate that.
Buy him a drink regardless.
With ill intentions.
Oh. That's
it.
The Cosby clause.
Me, does this beer smell like a baseball bat?
All right, so I opened up Doc, and there he is.
Hell yeah.
He's good.
I'm keeping him like this. I'm probably going to cut off this stupid vest.
100%, brother.
I'm debating it. I'm seriously debating it. But
you could cut it to where you could attach it again, Jeff.
Yeah. I just like this figure. I've always liked medics for some reason. I just like this figure. I think he's cool as shit. I think he's going to look good on the shelf, which is going up tomorrow. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Like it.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Like it a lot.
All right.
Zach has bought me dinner before, so
What else we got?
It came from the collection.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are we done with GTFO?
Yeah, I'm done with GTFO. I got other stuff, but that's because I've been going through my house and finding things, so it's fine.
Let me play with these settings since I don't know what this button does. Ooh, yay.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
I did it. Yeah,
you figured it out.
I figured it out.
Yeah, you figured it out.
Oh my god. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. This show's me our worst show ever because we're gonna go off the fucking rails. So again, for those, if you know, you know, in the meeting I was at today at work, okay, a very serious fucking meeting where someone gets fired, okay, this happens. And then the guy that's talking to me, and we're at a crucial point in the conversation, goes, we'll just figure it out. And I did this underneath the table. I did the whole.
At least you didn't look off to your left with the Halpert smile.
What I did, Jeff, was this. I did the horns. I did one of these.
Nice. Yep. That's good. That's good. Yep. That's good.
And I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this tonight.
Yeah, if I'm listening to Tony like today, and he said figure it out like 12 times. I don't sit by anybody, so I can get away with it. But I'm just like at my desk. I'm just like,
When my mom was shouting at me today because of over a mop, and her last words were "figure it out," I definitely looked off towards the door and was like, "Yeah."
oh yeah.
Also, by the way, if you get a new mop, you can't use it to clean the floor because it's a new mop.
You have to use the old mop.
Not allowed.
Until it's the only mop, you have to use the old mop.
And yeah, Albie, if you're talking about Doc, Doc is well worth it. Doc is a great figure.
Doc is pretty dope.
He is. He's just shipwreck and mutt, but it's a good combo.
I'm gonna have to touch up the end of the glasses with some super glue. But besides that, yeah, I don't want that shit falling off.
No.
All right. So this next thing, of course, will be it came from the collection.
Collection.
Dramatic.
Black and white.
What do you got?
I've got a couple things.
You go first.
I've had a debate about what I wanted to get out. So give me a second here.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
I know, guys, it looks like I just looked around the room and my camera and I went, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, he was
That's
totally
not what happened. I actually thought about this. My other one's in my pocket. I'm not gonna go slow. I'm gonna hit the solo button. I'm not touching the buttons. I'm not doing it.
No.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, you know, the smirch, the memory.
That's
This
awesome.
is
Ooh,
little.
who's that guy?
This is little Zakainen's OG lunchbox.
that's cool.
Well, you know what
the
the opposite of that.
on the back.
Ooh,
Kneel
wow.
before Zod.
Well, you know what the opposite of that actor is, don't you?
Dawes?
Christopher Walken.
Mikey, do the
That's
voice.
a terrible
Oh.
joke, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Oh my God.
Look at that scene.
Jeffrey,
Oh.
that's out of bounds. Good Lord.
I am so offended.
Mikey, remember I told you I would find my collection, I'd have like a half-eaten sandwich?
Yeah.
If there's a dime bag in there, I'm gonna shit a brick.
There's not. I don't
Ooh.
know.
My God, you found
It
it
might
in
be
a
why I've
ditch.
been sick for this many years. Look at this shit. Safety first, kids.
Safety first. Don't eat a sandwich out of this box right now.
Good God.
What was that? Aladdin Industries Incorporated, Nashville, Tennessee.
It looks like that came out of the fucking Wuhan lab.
That looks like
That's
something that
beautiful.
could give you a disease, and you'd just be like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Oh, gross. Best case scenario, that tasted like raw metal. Like
At best, like maybe
that is not what it was.
Brother,
I
how do you
hope
think
you're
I
getting
have
a-
this body that I'm in right now? What do you think I do? Oh, okay. Bonus segment because I've been
What are you
drinking.
doing?
no, leave it in. We don't.
Hold up.
Hey, relax. This is the
Hold
tetanus
up.
shot for the
Wait a
lunchbox.
second.
Oh,
This
Something
isn't
ain't right.
Zakainen OnlyFans.
he just pulled out a bare black olive out of his pocket.
That does look like a bare black olive.
Is that
So
licorice?
this,
Is that a Quaalude?
I will show you. I will show you.
Quaalude.
This is the first gift that my wife ever got me.
Oh,
It's not going to show up very well,
no.
but it is translucent, and I can't remember what the scientific term is for that rock, but it is translucent, and it
Right.
is called an Apache tear. This is the first
Cultural
thing,
appropriation.
first gift my wife ever got me. 20 plus some odd years ago. I think it was before you were married, actually.
Wow.
It was. So shit, it's probably been 30 years.
Well, it's nice that she got you something before you guys got married.
Yeah.
A rock. Yeah, John.
Besides a hard time.
And
Yeah.
not like a rock.
Yeah, you're supposed to get that rock.
But no, I do.
When you reached into your pocket and pulled it out, I thought it.
Yeah, it's a dick fur.
That's what I thought.
Whoa. There we go. But yeah, that my wife, who's not here and is never going to watch this show ever. I love my wife dearly. I treasure that thing. I've almost lost it a couple times. In fact, recently I was at Club Car Wash and I'm like, I never have it out until I do. And I randomly put it in my cup holder this one time. And as I'm vacuuming, this is right after Jeff left. That was that same fucking day, Jeff, when you left, by the way, cleaning the car and I went, did I have my,
Oh no.
fuck. Went to the employee and said, excuse me, I'm trying not to panic right now. I need to go into that vacuum right there. And the guy did it, shut it all down, got it right out. I'm like, ooh.
Close call.
Yeah. So that is it. That's it came from the collection.
Good.
That's
good.
That's good.
Cheers.
I've
Lunchbox.
got two.
By the way, Lunchbox, it did come with a thermos a
Uh-huh.
long fucking time ago.
Yeah, well. So we're going with Darth Maul because I've hated Darth Maul ever since I saw that goddamn movie. And then when he got cut in half, I was super happy because I was like, yep, that sounds about right. But then I watched the goddamn Clone Wars, and then I watched goddamn Rebels, and goddamn it, I like this version of Darth Maul. I don't like the Darth Maul is just a weapon and here for 20 minutes in the movie. I like the plotting, incredibly smart, I will fuck your world up Darth Maul. So when I got this figure, I was like, this will sit on my shelf nicely with the rest of my collection. And so it did. The second one is, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I love Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones a whole lot. And when SH Figure Arts was like, hey, we're doing an Indiana Jones, I went, that's awesome. And then I found out that Mezco was doing one, but I went, I like this one more. Because, like, he comes with all sorts of cool face changes out, and, like, he can rock that Temple of Doom look sort of better than the Mezco one. So, this is kind of what I'm after. I love this figure. And anytime I look at him, I think of my dad, because my dad and I would watch all the indie movies, you know, and he exposed me to Indiana Jones and all the good shit, you know, back in our life. So, yeah. Just Indiana Jones.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Sam Witwer does amazing voice work.
Yes, he does.
It's really cool how he's talked about how he came up with the Maul voice, and he combined it with the voice actor, and then like whatever his own stuff was that he did for the original movie. So,
I'd never heard that. That's cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Of course, when
I
you have your
also like
balls
the
cut
Trash
off, you
Fighter.
might have your voice a little higher in octane than that Darth Maul, but you know, whatever.
It's true. That Maul
Has no dick. Yep.
I knew Jeff was going to jump on that.
That's me. I like jumping on dick jokes.
That's what he said.
Is it?
Is it though?
Is it though?
That's what she said.
It was this time.
Pie, I couldn't tell you. I know that I just saw. Yeah, it's the Two Sons one. Peter, you're right. But I saw this one and I went, this. And then when I watched the last season of the Clone War, or was it Rebels? Whatever. The one where Ahsoka arrested him. He looked like this, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And that's what got me into him. Like, he's just a cool figure, you know?
I like
Cool.
it. I dig it. I dig it.
Yar.
All right,
Michael?
bitches.
Sons.
You want to see what I got?
Yeah, let's see it, Mikey.
Show us what you got.
All right. So before I got into GI Joe, I had to find a hobby, And I thought for a time that it was going to be model cars, because it was something Dad and I used to do together. So we did one. Did a Monte Carlo.
Ooh, hell yeah, it's a Monte Carlo. Is that
It's a
training?
Monte Carlo, all right.
We wheel swapped it. We grafted a 69 Camaro Cal induction hood on it. And we motor swapped it. There's no Monte Carlo.
Hell yeah.
Stuck with a 305. L89 for the win. So this is what I thought what I was gonna do as a hobby. And I mean, we went all out with it, as you do. And then
that was a Christmas to New Year project, wasn't it?
It was. And then the following year we went to the first Joe Fest that we went to, and that all changed. So that was that. But on theme tonight, because my dad is joining us, I had another thing from the collection. And it's something he got me. Well, I guess he's gotten me it twice. And it is a Power of the Force Luke Skywalker.
Hell yeah.
This holds significance because when this came out, my grandfather, my dad, and myself were on our way to an Air Force, an air show. It was Whiteman Air Force Base. Is that right, Bob?
Yep.
And we stopped at a Toys R Us, I believe.
No, it was a Walmart.
It was a Walmart. Okay.
In
I guess it
Warrensburg.
wouldn't be a Toys R Us on the way to Whiteman.
That would have been cool if it was, though.
That would have been cool. And this
Could you bring that-
this was the figure I got.
Do a close up of there.
That's fire.
I am a Jedi, like my father was before me.
Oh.
If only there was a master here for someone to grant me the rank of knight.
Oh.
By the way, I've owned 3 Monte Carlos, so I will
Oh, have you?
highlight all these Monte Carlo. Now, granted, it was a 76 and 2 77s, but still, I fucking
Oh,
love it.
nice. I had a
Oh,
76 Le Mans. I love colonnade bodies.
Those are cars.
They are, Jeff. Good job, buddy.
Cars have wheels.
True.
Cars have doors.
Men
not
have
all
faces,
doors
women
are
have
cars.
hairs.
All right. My
Mr.
turn, I
Kukovich,
guess.
you ready there, buddy?
All right.
Mr. Kukovich, if you will.
Yeah, so this is 2 things from my collection that are both callbacks to another age. When I was a kid, you'd put everything on the horse and cart and go into town to the general store and pick things up.
Yeah.
And you always hear that, we have Star Wars at home, So one of my early things were these. And I loved this Space Command.
Oh, hell yeah, buddy.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Closer. Show
so-
that thing off to the camera there, John. That looks awesome.
Oh, he's in nice shape.
That's
Oh,
cool as hell.
man. The GIMP hands with all the adventure people. It just, why?
Well, the reason why is so that they could hold the steering wheel. That hand holds the steering wheel on like the ambulance, on the dragster, all those vehicles. That hand is supposed to hold the steering wheel. That's the only reason they did it that way.
Except my
That's
alien,
amazing.
which had a starship, which had no steering wheel in it.
I know. They just use that same thing,
Yeah,
on the
the same
astronauts,
bug.
even the aliens like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the alien, it was the same way, man. I was just doing that earlier. I fucking love that alien. That is an amazing. Where'd you get that?
Where did I get that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I bought a lot of them from a guy. I have a couple of the Alpha Star pilots and some others. I have a lot of Fisher Price stuff. It is like my first real vehicle was the ambulance.
Nice.
And,
Yes.
and when I got into G.I. Joe, I painted that thing gray and put a Cobra symbol on the side of it and added some missiles from a model kit on it. I destroyed that thing, but now I have a nice one. I have almost every space vehicle that they've done.
Jeez. That's cool as hell.
You still that space shuttle, the Alpha probe?
The Alpha Probe, yeah, I have about 7 of them.
Nice.
Holy Toledo.
That
John,
shuttle
have you,
is one of my
John, have you
favorite.
seen the tribute that the 4 Horsemen did for Fisher Price?
I have.
Some asshole has 2 of them.
Sweet. Yeah, I saw that on your show the other day. That's why tonight I was going to open one of those for my opener.
Ooh.
But
What?
got shut down.
Man.
Is that one in your left hand? Is it supposed to be this guy
No.
with the silver visor? Like the green face is obviously the alien, but is that one supposed to be like the robot?
I think, yeah, like their droid version or whatever.
That's
No,
cool.
that there is the trying to remember what vehicle that guy comes with, but it's not. I don't think it's space. The it might be the same mold as the pilot.
Does he come with a thing with a little bubble with the red
take a look.
claws?
Oh, I had that jet. Here.
Nope, the pilot's different.
Oh, here, hang on. Let get you big.
Oh, it's Daft Punk.
Oh, I
That's where
love
they
that
got that.
jet when I was a kid, man. Chad was showing that off in that catalog that Pete had on the 3
Yeah.
series with Mikey.
Oh,
I was
Zakainen,
losing my
check this
shit.
out. I'll show you this.
Oh, thank God your dad has pants on or shorts.
Yeah, I have shorts on.
No, it's paint.
Oh, that
That is
looks
cool.
awesome.
These are super rare.
Holy Toledo.
That's cool as hell.
Zach, if
Is
you're
he
looking
busting out
for
more?
space,
Is he
open the
busting out more?
vanilla place.
Oh God, bless America. I'm at a full 7. I was showing my wife pictures of this because she didn't know what that was. I'm like, oh, I love this thing. How the cockpit was the shuttle.
That's so cool.
About this is that this comes off.
Yes.
Yes.
Is on here, and they made these in 2 different colors. They make another version of it where this is white and this is gray.
Did
That's
not
cool.
know
And then there's this guy.
Damn, that's
Lego,
that. Never seen him.
Lego did a tribute to that set as well.
There's a
Did they really? That's rad.
Yeah.
there's a left hand and a right hand version of it.
What?
No, wait,
That's-
everything they did, they flip flopped eventually.
Yeah, colors. They swap
so
colors
cool.
over. Some cool stuff.
Your
just
dad
like-
is a sorcerer because this is all magic. This shit doesn't exist. He's just pulling this from another alternate dimension where toys were cool.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
imagine
That's what I'm
imagine
talking about.
is-
That's what I had when I was a kid. I
completely
had
forgot
that son of a bitch. I love that thing, man.
Jeff, me too. It has wheels on it. It's almost like a land speeder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah. That's what it is. It's a land speed vehicle. Like Mikey was saying,
Oh,
they
look
swap
at that.
colors.
Oh my goodness. Bring that
drag
son of a
force
bitch up
same
right
way.
there.
Hell
There's the
yeah.
shuttle in there. Oh, there's that
Man,
van,
that's rad.
that vacation van deal.
They flip the colors
Oh.
on the boats. They just did whatever they could, and some of those they would like only Sears and Montgomery Wards would have that version. You know, they would make different
Holy
versions for the
cow.
catalogs, but they were just literally just color swapped.
That is rad.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but the astronauts that come with the shuttle, one's a female and one's a male.
I knew that,
Yes.
but that's
I mean, it's
cool
the
as
same
hell.
body, but they have the nurse head
Yeah.
on one, and then the
And that was like ahead of its time back in the day because girls in science fiction were either princesses or whatever at the time, and like to have a pilot, that's cool as hell.
yeah, they had a female space pilot, obviously a nurse, an EMT in blue, forest ranger who was a totally different mold, but it looked the same. It's in bright green with blonde hair. There's the Fisher Price stuff is so cool and so playable, and it was
Yep.
out at about the same time as Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And I have tons of it, and like I have a friend that's always like buying lots from people and stuff, and he'll holler at me and be like, do you want any of these? It'd be like 6 or 7 Fisher Price guys. I'm like, yeah, just get them all. I don't care. Once in a while you get a Tonka, one of the Tonka ones. in
Yeah.
there. But
Well, guess what, Mikey? Your dad and I are best friends now. And he's also my favorite Kukovich. But you, Mikey, are top 3.
Ooh,
so that
just fell down the list a little bit, I think.
And say where, top 3, but you're not number 1.
so the Fisher Price stuff I really do love. There's so many Jeeps. They have the news truck that actually has a mast on it for the antenna. I have one of
I don't
those
remember that.
downstairs. the space vehicles are all really cool. They have one that actually is like a vehicle that they would go out and capture aliens, and it's got a cage in it. The aliens go in the cage. All kinds of cool stuff, right? And they did it like everything from, like I said, a news van to an ambulance to a kayak set to spaceships. Like just all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh man, I used that green van in that picture. I used it for like when Captain America had that TV show, right? We had the bike, the motorcycle. I'd use that motorcycle and I'd have him come out of that minivan like he did in the TV show or TV movie or whatever the hell it was.
That's what with the when I painted that ambulance up, I would use where the side flipped down. That was where the motorcycle sat for. I use it for Dreadnoks for some reason, and that was their van.
Oh yeah.
Your son really needs that.
The very first Star Wars guy I ever got, he got it a 5 and dime.
Nice.
It was Hammerhead.
Oh, here, hang on.
The Thorian.
Okay, John, you're no longer my favorite. That's a stupid figure. But
Oh, it's terrible.
You love it. Oh, okay, we're best friends again. Okay.
But I had
a figure.
You have to keep in mind, like, just to set the stage here, you guys, like, for Christmas, I got a fucking certificate of some figures I might get someday.
Your dad just dropped the F-bomb, Mikey. Holy cow.
So,
yeah.
So,
this time it's
know,
personal.
Months go by, I still don't have those 4 rather decent figures. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And everybody's like, well, we're gonna go over to this, to the next town over that's actually got a Ben Franklin. And so we went over there, and they like had an entire rack of Star Wars stuff. Well, I already had a couple of stormtroopers that my cousin had given me from. He was tired of him. He played with them for a month, and he was tired of them. So I bought Hammerhead. And
I'm going to highlight that again. I think I did it earlier, but headcanon, yeah, it's almost like they wanted to play, kids play with toys.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And they were rugged. Fisher Price was rugged, man, because my God, I put my Fisher Price through the ringer.
Yeah, and I like I said, I have several of those shuttles, and they are so resilient. The only thing that really ever chews up on them is the wing on the back. The vertical stabilizer is the only thing that chews up, and that's because it was made out of a rubber material. But they were so smart about it, like that hose piece. Every space vehicle they did, they just threw one of those hoses in. Like it didn't matter if it was the alien with the black rocket car. That's what that blue-faced alien came with. And,
I love that thing.
they have the vehicle that has the turret on it. That just looks like a hover tank.
Yeah.
Quinn, have you ever heard of Ben Franklin before? I mean, he's like,
Oh, Jesus Christ. So I want to go back like just a little bit when you said, I already have a couple of stormtroopers. And I was like, God damn, that's what it's all about. Because like, as collectors now, we're like, of course we'll army build. But like back then it was like, your mom or your dad asking you, why do you want another of the same figure? Because I need an army. I can't have
never had to explain that. I never had to explain that. My dad was, he was a minister, and he would go to seminary school in Des Moines, Iowa, and we lived in southern Iowa. So he'd be gone for like 2 or 3 days, and every time he came back, he would bring me a Star Wars guy that I didn't have. Somehow my dad remembered every one of them.
That's
he and I went to see Star Wars at the drive-in like several times. I didn't go to a theater until 1980. It was always drive-in movies. So I knew my dad loved Star Wars. And so if he wasn't sure, he would just get a stormtrooper. Actually, at that time, I almost always ended up with a snowtrooper. So nice. I had a small army of snowtroopers for the longest time. But
all right, Scott Hughes
from the collection stuff.
Wolverines over here. This group is perfect for this question. Did anyone else have the Airfix Star Cruiser 1 model kit?
Yeah.
You got me. I think Scott Hughes is making stuff up.
I don't think I have one in here, but I think I actually have a box for that kit.
Alfred, that could be a good thing. Just saying. All right, now.
If you'd like one, there's one on eBay that I just put in the chat.
Oh, the Star Cruiser thing?
Yeah,
it's only a model.
Here, I can share it here.
Look
That's
at
awesome.
that.
Oh, look at that. Look at John. Look at this.
I like toys.
Now, Zach, are you looking for one of those?
Oh,
Me?
stop.
A space probe in the box?
Not. I don't care if it's in a box or not. Jerk.
What's up, jerk?
Jerk.
That's-
Okay. Here, since Jerk's in there, Jerk. Did you see 30 seconds later after I say this or ask this? Did you see Mr. Kukovich's Firefox poster?
Not this one.
The other one. It says right there, no, the other one.
Kukovich.
It's
That's a
Christmas.
cool
I had
poster.
to put a Die Hard reference in there.
Yeah.
I said I couldn't remember if Jerk was in that stream, that last stream you guys did on dang it, whose channel was that on? Mark 12 Design, Mark 2 Designs?
Yeah, Mark II.
Yeah, that was the 3D printing podcast.
Tony,
Yeah.
do you have a spare grand laying around? Because
I mean, that'd be nice. I could do with a spare grand laying around. Just throwing that out there. That model is $1,000 on eBay.
Yeah,
In box.
no, it says 1995. I see the sticker.
Ah, okay. Well,
Oh.
I'll just send them a message.
Send him a message. Yeah, that'd be good.
What's with this markup, man? I don't want to pay eBay prices for this.
and when I bought this in 1982, it was only $3.95.
Yeah. Actually, the sticker price says $19.95.
Could I speak to
Jeff
your
does that.
manager,
I
please?
just realized I didn't have my phone on silent. So,
I'm sorry.
and Jeff, that one professional.
Jeff, come on.
I'm
Jeez.
like, oh shit, I didn't
So-
do that.
So I heard you guys like comic books.
Who told you that?
Is it time for the meat?
It's time for the meat.
Let's do this.
Everybody get ready to get the
The
meat
meat.
sweats.
My
Get the
meat's
meat.
already sweating.
Nice.
That's my
Mine too. I
secret.
don't have my ball fan.
I'm always sweating.
So who wants to start this off? Who's your favorite X-Men? I know that you guys have a couple, whereas I have one. Since I wasn't allowed to put on Earth X, by the way, assholes. So
The
who wants to go first? Jason, you go first. Zach, what's your favorite X-Men story comics? Go.
Jason Zach will go first. Okay, so we don't use solo for this. Actually, I called Jeff. Jeff and I were having a roller coaster of a day when we were talking about how it's like I'm missing some comic books as I was going through my collection, grabbing my favorite story arc, which was not Fall of the Mutants, because I started reading my Fall of the Mutants, and I'm like, I'm gonna read these again. So last night I'm going through all my issues and everything, found my back issue of New Mutants. I told Jeff that I was like, oh shit, went right to my comic book store, went to the end section, opened it up, straight to that back issue. I'm like, holy shit, awesome. So I'm reading it, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. What am I? I've got the wrong story arc. It's Mutant Massacre. Not Fall of the Mutants. Well, F me. I'll just get those out. Jeff, do you remember when I told you about that swath of X-Men comic books I'm missing?
It's that one.
I have one from that story arc still, which was the very first one. Oh, I guess I can make myself big. This one right here. And I loved this art, man. This grabbed me. Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler there, all beat up, holding his arm. He's hurt. Logan smoking that cigar there, as God intended him to. I was all about this. Besides the, come on, mess with us, make our day. I loved Mutant Massacre. And I just got chills. I got goosebumps thinking about how much I loved that story. We talked about this before, too.
So good.
So Mutant Massacre for me was my favorite X-Men story arc. Loved the shit out of it. And it crossed over. Hell, there was a Thor, I want to say, had one. Daredevil. I can't, whatever. Chat, help me out, chat. Engage with us, please. X Factor. And that was like, I want to say that was, the OG team, right? The OG X-Men. Going, we need to get back into it again. So it was, so Marvel Girl. Thanks, Mikey. Yeah, that's me. Iceman, Cyclops, Beast, which I think he was in human form at that time.
He was.
He was, yeah.
Was it
Warren.
It's Angel.
Was he
Angel.
part of X Factor at that point?
Yeah,
Yes.
because he had to wear that their Mutant Busters suit had a backpack looking thing so he could hide his wings in the backpack.
That's right.
Yeah, because they were hunting mutants for the government.
Oh god,
I hunted. I never liked Angel. I didn't give a shit. It was like Aquaman. Oh, you can fly? Sweet. I don't care.
How the fuck are we friends? How? How are we friends? How?
I know. Jeff loves Aquaman and he loves Angel.
I do. He's one of my favorite superheroes.
This
But
guy
Mutant
talks like this guy
Massacre,
flies like a bird. They're so cool.
Fuck that. He gets his arm fucking cut off, then he gets got a fucking hook hand and he fucks people up. Then he finds fucking the sword of Excalibur like from the Lady of the Lake. And then he's
are you
actually
talking about
King
fucking
Arthur.
decades fucking later when they're like, guys, these fucking characters are lame.
Yeah, because they're fucking lame in the 60s. Who gives a shit about him talking to dolphins?
60s, 70s, 80s to the
No,
90s.
fuck you. Fuck you. You know why? Because Aquaman threw a polar bear at a guy once.
Yeah, fact check that.
Yeah.
So,
what's your counter to that?
Yeah,
my counter is fact check that.
fucking Philistine.
What the hell, man?
You're fake news. So, with me for Warren Worthington III, for me, the turning point was this fucking comic book series, this arc. When they're going through the fucking Morlock tunnels, the fucking Marauders are massacring the shit out of fucking mutants, man. They find fucking Warren crucified by his wings in the fucking tunnels. And I was like, again, goosebumps. I need a goosebump fucking cam over here. Oh my God, Jeffrey.
You don't fucking see Submariner doing that shit.
Also
You
stupid.
didn't have to.
That is true.
That guy can't even talk to fish. It's just Roman spelled backwards. So when they found him crucified, I was like, and against Angel. So I mean, all the biblical references were so fucking cool. And then later, so fast forward to Follow the Mutants, when then Apocalypse reveals him as he's cures him as the Horseman Death. Holy!
Oh, you mean in this story arc?
Do you mean with this figure?
It's such a good figure.
That figure is okay.
Yeah, Mikey, in this story arc.
There you go.
When they redo it, I'm all about when they redo
Yeah,
that.
guys, in that story arc.
Good work, Jeff.
But I mean, the Marauders, Gambit, who is the second worst X-Men next to underneath Jubilee. Jubilee's the worst, then it's Gambit. When they kicked Gambit out of the X-Men during Mutant Massacre because they found out
Wait.
had fired him. Jeff, I have the floor. You will have the floor later. Okay.
What do you mean Gambit's the second worst X-Men?
There's number one is Jubilee's the worst. Gambit's number two. That's how numbers work.
That's absurd.
How the fuck are we friends? Continue.
Yeah, go talk to some fish. Mr. Sinister, which is one of my favorite goddamn villains over here. I love this figure too. I love it. I love the select version. Gimme. All about Sinister. Female Sinister, as everything's been feminized, right? Give me the female Sinister that I've seen. Also a cool looking fucking figure. All about this shit, which makes sense for this fucking guy.
It is an incredible villain design. I mean, top to bottom. There's no way you think that's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like that is classic comic book villain. Everything about that suit, everything about the feather, the feathered cape, all of that, he just looks bad. And I mean, Sinister, regardless of what they did with him later and all of that, but the whole idea of that character visually, when you look at early comics like Magneto, and back then, they always made the villains look a little like their heads were too big, and they always tried to make them look
the eyes, the eyebrows.
Yeah. Sinister looks like his name. I mean, there's no way you would ever think that was one of the good guys.
Yes, Abby. It's Sinister. It's just because he can do anything with genes, and good luck. Good luck killing him. Oh yeah.
Genes,
not even on purpose that time. But the Marauders for me too. Holy shit, man. And then, okay, so here's another one. Shout out to Mikey over here. Again, another one of my favorite X-Men, man. Peter, I mean, like the heart of the X-Men, right? The youth, the innocence, right?
Yes.
When Whirlwind fucked him up, I mean, throwing stars are coming out. They're embedding him. He's got this, throwing star like half embedded into his osmium skin. And he goes up, and maybe I have this wrong, but in my head, what I remember as Whirlwind's going to town and he's just stalking and then grabs Whirlwind and
snaps his neck.
And I don't know if Peter had killed anybody at that point up in his storyline or his history. In my head, that's what I remember. Is that right, Jeff?
That's exactly what happened.
And I was like, that's how serious shit was, because they had seen literally the massacre of the Morlocks up until that point, just this wanton destruction of life. And then Peter was like,
times that Peter lost his shit, like actually lost his shit. And it's such a great moment in like comic history that's so overly overlooked all the time that like not a lot of people will acknowledge that as like one of the defining moments of Colossus. Like right now he's evil in a book. Like Colossus finally flipped, and it's like, well, how could Colossus do that? I mean, look at what Colossus has been through. He survived the mutant massacre. Kitty Pryde has died how many fucking times in his comeback? Like the love of his life. Like, yeah, he's fucking done with shit. I don't blame him. But again, there's that sympathetic villain bullshit thing again.
There is.
But also, talking about like comic theory, right? Like that story, Peter snapped. He did something that was so out of character for him, but then in the same story, a little bit later, you find out he can't turn human again.
Yeah.
Well, he's paralyzed, John. So he's paralyzed because Magneto's trying to heal him from those injuries and ends up
with the metal. Right?
He
uses the metal and he's trying to
fix him. Skin. He's like, I'll do this, and then ends up paralyzed. So you have in that story, Peter's paralyzed. He's paraplegic. Nightcrawler is in a fucking coma. It's like, holy shit. Like that was it's blowing my mind as an X-Men fan. I'm like, oh my God. And then later on, Peter's stuck. He can't transform back into human. And then you have those moments, which I thought were awesome, where Logan has him washing dishes in the X-Mansion. And Peter's cracking dishes. And he's like, you can still feel things. They're just muted. So you need to hone in on that, and you have to change how you are. I mean, I think he was smoking cigars. He's teaching them in the fucking kitchen, and they're just washing dishes. But it was him trying to get control of his powers, and then fucking great fucking storytelling. Also, hey Chad.
Hey buddy.
So many story arcs spun off from that. It's Archangel, Colossus. And talking about this is not attributed to this, but when Jeff's talking about Kitty, that's another moment I love is those scenes. Logan, again, being a mentor, takes Peter out to a bar to have a drink. And Peter's like, I met this alien woman on Secret Wars. Also a great story arc. Not X-Men, Jeff at Earth X. And he's sitting there. He's like, I'm in love with this girl. Oh. And Logan's like, listen, you're young, and you two have known each other for a long time. You're still kids. Is that what you really want? What you really, really want?
You want it? You want it?
And then Peter gets drunk, bumps in the Juggernaut, dumps a beer on him, and then Juggernaut sits there and punches him. Luckily, he transforms to Colossus last second, lives, and they have this awesome bar fight. I love this comic book. But there were so many things, like John was talking about, that spun off and was just stories kept happening into Fall of the Mutants and into Inferno. I mean, just kept going. I mean, Peter's sister kind of showcases in Fall of the Mutants where Doug dies.
Well, in both of them, yeah.
Oh my God, when Doug dies and then she starts going more Dark Child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That Fall of the Mutants to me is like, or the massacre to me is when Chris Claremont sat down and said, we need to go to the next phase of what the X-Men are going to be. We've been telling the same story about these same characters for so long. Now we're going to shake it up. And he does it and it'll be part of what I talk about when I do mine, but the next 2 years, right? Outback X-Men, the next
Yeah.
2 years of X-Men is such deep character development of them. There's not a lot of big flashy fights.
Nope.
And when there is, Mark Silvestri is there to make sure that you see every muscle and every piece of it. He is a true master. And you don't even realize how great he is until like 252 when Jim Lee takes over, right? So Silvestri just has that way of telling a story. Sometimes his transitions are kind of weak, but he was still feeling it out. But that it was just like Claremont, like they started this whole storyline that would go on for the next 2 years that just did so much. There is a difference between changing a character to sell a dollar or to sell an alternate cover, and
Yes.
a difference between changing a character to develop their character. And
Character
Mutant
progression.
cemented that, right? It was like these characters that you know and love are going to be changed for a long time, you know? And it was a long time. It took away. It wasn't like 2 issues later they were like, hey, everything's fine. Hey, let's jump to Age of Apocalypse so we don't have to explain this corner that we painted ourselves into, and we'll disappear for a year and come back and like, hey guys, everything's fine. All that stuff you remember, that Age of Apocalypse happened. It happened while that was going on.
Let's do this. So since I'm done with my meat, do we want to segue to John, Mikey?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Where you guys at on that? It seems like it's almost a natural progression to go into what John's talking about now.
Yeah, I agree.
So Mutant Massacre is a great story, and that's because it is a jumping point, right? It is a change in everything. And for that core group of X-Men that will be developed over the next few issues. Going into Fall of the Mutants, that's great. But what I love is the actual run of comics between Fall of the Mutants and Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
That run right there is better than the 2 bookend stories. You know,
well, and John, I'll tell you what, John, what took me out of comic book collecting, that was a start, was Inferno. Because when Inferno was good, it was great. You know, here's like the 80 comics, I'm exaggerating, that you had to get. But then they threw in artists that are like, who is this? And this is trash. They threw trash artists in. I don't care how good the story is. If your art isn't on point, I don't give a shit.
That is why I would, as much as I love the Extinction Agenda, that is why I don't include it.
Yep.
Because I don't remember which artist it was. I think it was the X Factor artist at the time. I mean, here you had Jim Lee and Liefeld drawing shit, and then this guy is like, looks like, I really don't, I forgot who the artist is, but it just wasn't very good. And what sucked even more than that is that was coming in X Factor after we had the utter delight of Walter and Louise Simonson running that book, you know? So yeah, you know, all that stuff matters. And I was living all that as I was going. My favorite X-Men story of all time, though, is Days of Future Past. I watched the show the other. I know. I watched the show the other night where a guy was talking about how he really couldn't include that as one of the best X-Men stories because that story's been done so much. And it's hard for me to understand that because I was living that story in real time. Like I was going to the newsstand and getting that comic when it came out, those 2 comics, I was like, oh my God, how does this end? And I was utterly amazed. Like that was really the first time they did that, you know?
Yep.
And Mikey always talks about how the part where Colossus loses his shit when Storm dies, you know, Logan makes his last stand and you know it's over, you know?
This is it.
Yeah. And so suddenly you see a lot of things. You see Kitty Pryde's potential. You see, you know, how far Logan would be willing to go when it came down to it. You saw all these really cool things in that story, but that was the first time they really played with a timeline in a normal book in Marvel. They did some other time shifting things once in a while, but that one really showed you the danger that the X-Men were in.
Yes.
Right? They weren't just fighting mutants anymore. It wasn't just Magneto and whatever villain of the week it was. So jump to that era between Fall of the Mutants and Inferno. The way Claremont starts developing Madeline Pryor's character, you know, he starts developing her. I've told Mikey many times one of my favorite books is the one in Genosha where where Rogue and Wolverine think they're going to go in there and clean up. That one, yeah.
Oh, here, hang on. No,
and the
show that off, Mike.
Genoshans have a weapon that takes away their powers.
236.
236 and 237 are the two issues. They Rogue goes into a catatonic state because without her powers, and it doesn't ever say that she's like that this was like an SA situation, but just the fact that all these people touched her. She had spent the last 2 years of the comic talking about how she wished she could be that way again so she could have the human touch and all that again. She got the human touch, and it put her in catharsis. In her head, Carol Danvers pops in and says, "Kid, why don't you let me take it from here? Because you cannot handle this, and I can get us out of this." Rogue's like, what's to say that you won't just take over completely and not give it back? And Carol's like, you would deserve that, but you don't have a choice right now.
Yeah.
And then Carol proceeds, using Rogue's body, to kick the shit out of everybody, get Wolverine out, and they escape.
Yep.
So you saw that the Carol Danvers as a character that I loved before the butch haircut and the new wave.
The new wave, Carol Danvers. Because when I was into it, she was dead. Rogue had killed her. That was the entirety of what I knew of Miss Marvel at that point. I had never read her before that. So then Miss Marvel didn't come around for, shit, John, how long did they leave her dead?
Oh, it was almost 3. So we met her again in Rogue's head after this line of series where they met in the Savage Land, and Rogue was in the Savage Land with Magneto, and all that stuff happened. And then Magneto made her win. But don't forget that Carol was binary for a while, right before the Mutant Massacre, like just a few issues before that. That
Such a cool design.
Yeah, it's a great design. So Carol got a bad rap. There was an Avengers storyline that I will never forgive them for, but but they did her dirty. And but I always thought she was a pretty great character, thinking of her as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. without her powers, thinking of all these other things about her. I thought she was a badass, and that story in the middle of all these other X-Men stories to bring Carol back just for a little bit, it was fun. It was cool. You had they met up with the Brood, and the Brood almost overtakes Wolverine, but his healing factor stops that from happening. So you had all these cool little stories leading up to Inferno,
Well, you talk about Madeline Pryor, John. Madeline Pryor, my favorite comic when I think about Madeline Pryor, when Cyclops and her get married and they go on their honeymoon, and they're in that plane that crashes in the water. I can't remember if they crashed in the water and they're in that cove or whatever. However it happens, but Scott loses his ruby quartz sunglasses. He's in the water and he's got that octopus, and he's like, well, I know there's nobody around me, so just opened up his eyes and just blasted out of that thing. I love that little storyline of them just trying to go on a honeymoon without anyone knowing who the Madeline Pryor really was at that point.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that run in between those two books, even though those two books get all the problem with a lot of the crossovers is they became bloated, and you would have these 6 or 7 pages of stuff that didn't matter. Whereas the monthly joint, when they were doing that monthly one, and sometimes bi-monthly in the summer, or twice a month in the summer, right? Bi-weekly. Those guys were having to put those books out like that. And Claremont was using that medium to just weave a story. Every panel meant something, Silvestri's writing, like I said, there was a lot of issues in there, but he really got to where he could convey thought and emotion with facial expressions and things like that, which you don't think about a lot, especially since about 10 issues later, it was all every third page had to be something you could put on your wall and tear out of the comic to support the 6 different covers they were going to make of it. So, and you talk about Jubilee and Gambit, those characters came after and never really Gambit got development way later. Like way later, they thought maybe we should actually say what what this guy's about. I mean,
That's almost why I think they booted him out of the X-Men at that point during Mutant Massacre, because they really didn't know what to do with him.
yeah. And and you learn later, when they started like really trying to weave these other stories, that he was actually this, and whatever. For me, the best times were before they were trying to justify everything, trying to tie up every loose end that ever happened. Claremont was just trying to write a good story.
Yep.
And I think it would have been awesome when like the Simonsons and Claremont, all those people were in a room figuring out how they were going to tie the Fall of the Mutants and Inferno together. Like, what a cool place that would have been to be like, okay, well, we'll take that story and this is what we'll do with it. I can just imagine all the crazy whiteboard action going on.
Well, now it's Simonson that was doing X Factor at that point, right? When they relaunched X Factor.
Yeah, he was doing the art and she was writing it.
Because he was doing Thor. I can't remember if he did Thor before that or he did Thor after.
He did Thor off and on, I believe, a few times.
Well, I love Simonson Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some, like I said, it sometimes it's just yes, I know. Sometimes it's just a matter of thinking about that time and era, and you have to remember that these stories are products of those era. There wasn't an alternative message. There wasn't any of that. There was just, how do I make somebody give a shit about
no internet?
And he somehow made us scared.
A lot of the stuff from Genosha came from what was happening in South Africa at the time, with and apartheid and all that stuff. Where like
definitely, and I'm not saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
I would never say that comics have always had solid footing in issues, but at no point did they make it so obvious that you like felt like, oh man.
I agree exactly.
Yeah, it was an analogy, sure. I mean, it was showing you what could happen when the things that Xavier and Eric argued about years before, the next phase of that. Sure, all that political undertones, all of that, but that is also like with Star Wars that
Star Trek with social issues. Just talked about it.
Yeah.
X-Men and Star Trek didn't beat you over the head with it. It was message about the time, and it didn't hit you over the head and made you think.
Yeah.
Is that like when I write, like, I hate fucking exposition, right? Like I'm a professional writer. I hate exposition. And if you watch like a movie from the 80s, that exposition is subtly done. And that's why I loved comics. Because it was subtle. It wasn't, this is why.
Yep.
So that's,
treating your audience like they've been doing for the last several years as they're idiots. Oh, we lost Mikey. Oh, God.
Hi, Mikey.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he threw some gang signs out. Whatever.
But no, I mean that is why about 8 years ago I just had to stop buying comics. Number one, I don't believe that a comic book needs to be on the shiniest, heaviest stock they could possibly find. That's not art anymore. Now you're just selling a product for more money than it needs to be sold for. And with the commercialism and all that stuff, and it started to show through with every story that was being written. Deconstructing a character doesn't mean you bring in a younger, dumber version of them that's better than them at everything. That doesn't deconstruct the character. That's just crappy storytelling.
It's
like,
bad storytelling.
I tried picking up an X-Men comic a couple of years ago, and I was like, okay, why the fuck is there like young Bobby Drake? Why is there young Scott Summers? And I went back further and was like, what do you mean they got time displaced?
Yeah.
What do you mean this is happening? And like they took a legacy character and changed that legacy character to fit what was going on in the world at that time. And I was so fucking angry about it because I'm an alphabet person, and I was like, this is not needed. This is not needed at all. But you fucking people are doing this, and that's stupid. It's
because
stupid.
It destroys the message.
Yeah,
it does. Jeff was talking earlier about Genosha being an analogy for South Africa.
For apartheid, yeah.
Yeah, and that's excellent that we know that. But at no point did I feel like they were telling me like this is your fault.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're
That's
the only person that could possibly save this. You
like
know?
I'm all about the inclusion of like characters and stuff, but like when I wrote my mass script and I turned it in, and Paramount was like, "We love what you did. It's a 20-year later story. It's got fucking Scotty doing a car chase in San Francisco at the start of the flick. What do you think about making Matt Sato gay?" I was like, "Why the fuck would I do that? He's never." Fuck, there was an episode where he was going after a girl and wanted to date and marry her. And like,
Yep.
they're like, "Well, if you don't do it, we're going to reject your script." Fuck you, I'm not doing it. So I kept my integrity and then lost out on a huge payday. But I mean, that kind of pandering bullshit. No.
But you can,
Get
the
out of
thing
here with
is,
that.
you can pander, right? You can pander without hitting people over the head with the message. You can tell an analogy. You can tell that story, and
Exactly.
then later on be like, "Hey, it was an analogy for this," and people be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool."
Well, he's black and white, and I'm white and black. I don't like him, exactly. That old Star Trek episode,
Yep.
But that's why when Mikey said you guys were going to be talking about X-Men, I was like, I would love to talk about it because when that stuff was coming out, I was buying it, and I was living that as it was happening, and it was pure entertainment for me.
It was must-read comics, like must-see TV. It was must-read comics if you're reading.
I'd be like the closest place that really sold comics was literally a place called the Newsstand up in Grandview, Missouri, and I would my dad would be like saying, "Well, we're going to go up to Belton, this other suburb, and buy groceries." I'd be like, "Can we go up to the newsstand? There's probably a new issue of G.I. Joe, and I got to finish this X-Men story. It's amazing." And he would just shake his head. He's like, "Yeah, we could go up there." And usually, if I went up there, I'd have to buy some sort of model making magazine just so he knew that I wasn't totally out of touch with reality.
Yeah.
No, Dad,
we're going to wax poetic, John. This show's going to go over, folks. If you haven't figured this out yet.
Okay, I'm done. I'll let Mikey do his.
Fine. Okay. Just so we're on the same page here. We were talking about Extinction Agenda.
We got you, buddy.
Right?
Hey-o.
All right. So you're talking about
that cover.
It's a good cover.
I've got a poster
at that time. Those were three of my favorite characters.
Yep.
That's good stuff because this is a pretty legit copy. So we're talking about some in Yojo Jerk's words, Bobo art. We're talking about this shit, right? This He-Man bullshit.
The guy.
Yeah, and
Who
then
is that artist?
And then 6 pages later,
it's like, who's that?
Gold.
That's great. Fucking gold, Jerry.
Bobo.
It takes you out of it. I didn't even want to read those pages.
No, it's poop. It's big poop.
Even the cover.
With this.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
Gold.
I was wondering what you're looking for. I'm like, are you trying to have exit layout? What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't see the artist because it doesn't have the.
Even the covers.
No shit. HGC. Fucking right here. He made Liefeld look amazing.
Yeah, but in his defense, that cover that I'm talking about, those guys have feet. They look like beasts' feet, but they have feet.
They do have feet. Very, very motive.
Very large toes.
They had the feet.
Very. Oh yeah, the feet.
Hell yeah, Tony. Fuck yeah, I had that poster on the wall. Oh, sorry. Hey, by the way, Tony.
Hey, Tony. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Get yourself a drink, huh?
Check out Tony on Figure Fight Club tomorrow night with Articulated Ninja. Illustrated
Zakainen's gonna be around. Okay.
Yes.
Sure was. Actually, I think Jeffrey, you the only fucking Italian here. I mean, my wife's Italian, so I've been inside one.
Oh my god!
The taste of Italy.
Oh man. Okay,
right.
So we talked about this. You covered my points. I love this story arc. This is This is
It's still a
gold.
good story
sir.
arc.
This is gold. So beautiful, beautiful. Colossus and Warren are my favorite X-Men because I was introduced to Warren as Archangel and then went back and discovered Warren.
How
So
terrible he was,
Archangel.
like how much better he is now as Archangel.
Warren is my absolute favorite. So like reading Mutant Massacre and watching him get fucking pinned to a wall was brutal. And then he comes
Brutal.
back as fucking Archangel, the Horseman of Death.
When he throws
And
his
it's
wings up
so
the first time and those blades shoot out, you're like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Not just that, but when he
Yeah.
wraps himself in them, like to make himself completely like bulletproof, you know. And then
Yes.
they just unfurl, and oh my god, there's
It's amazing.
so much you can do with
Amazing.
that character.
So yeah.
And yes, there's some
So
fantastic
this
art
is
that
rad.
Romita did. I love his art on X-Men. I also love the Punisher.
Oh
I
yeah,
like his
Warzone.
early stuff, but as he goes to the square finger stuff, he loses me.
Yeah.
Once we get into Warzone and honestly most of the art in Born Again, I know it's
Oh,
an
well.
incredible story, but the art is a little distracting.
I miss Headcanon saying that.
Is good. So yeah, so this story, I love this story. And since Peter is my all-time favorite, like Colossus is my dude. The first story in this trade paperback is all about Peter, like who he is. He's an artist. He's got this super soft heart. He's an incredible
Yes.
person. He gives. He's like you said. He's the heart of the X-Men. I mean, I love him, and I didn't know how much I loved him until I read this, and I was like, holy shit.
Well,
So-
in Fall of the Mutants, he's the one that basically creates the tie to Roma, right? The goddess.
Right.
He has that vision where he just keeps drawing her over and over, and that's how she connected to them through the heart that is Colossus. You know that.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah,
sister
so-
Ileana, it keeps during her
She's so
run of that part is like she's worried about her brother. She thinks that she teleported him into certain death, and she's like going dark child during all that.
Mm-hmm. And this
Good.
was also my first introduction Massacre was my first introduction into New Mutants. So discovering that whole, family is amazing. This
And
story,
Magneto,
so freaking
Mikey,
good.
was Magneto the headmaster for the New Mutants from where you started off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
He
can tell
was.
you, for me as a reader, I'm reading New Mutants and they're like, "Here's your headmaster." What the fuck? I
Yeah.
mean, this is before Emma Frost because that was still a big what the fuck moment. But still, Magneto.
Yeah.
And then Doug
Super.
dies on his watch during Fall of the Mutants.
Yeah.
It's so good. That run is so good. So talked about that. We also talked about this because this is the first comic that made me feel real emotion. Because when the Sentinels blast Storm and Colossus loses his fucking shit, that was so amazing. So I read this long before I read Mutant Massacre or Fall of the Mutants, and got to get that first kill and see like how out of character it was, and this one I was like, oh shit, he snapped a couple of times.
Yeah.
No pun intended. So yeah,
It was
so
intended.
this book is amazing, but I love so many aspects of this. I love Magneto yet again being a leader for the X-Men. I always enjoy that. I think that's so freaking cool. And
Because
then
again, he loves mutants. That never changed in his character during that
Nope.
time period. Right? He didn't give a shit about humanity still at that point. So he was
No.
still a good teacher as far as like learning their powers, not ethics, not fucking morals, but how to stay alive.
Nope. Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, he told Charles he would look after him, right? And he held that promise. He just didn't say, "It's not like I'm going to teach him to love humans. I'm just going to teach them how to be the best they can be."
the best mutant they can absolutely be.
So Jeff, do you
So-
want to handle this one?
That one's red.
Random question: what's a better giveaway, New Marvel Legends Wolverine in yellow, or Harbinger Studio Alabama college guy. Wolverine. Wolverine's the better giveaway.
Avi, come on.
Wolverine.
It's literally Scott Hughes, Wolverines.
Yeah, it's Wolverine.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
If Chad's on here, I love that clip, and I also fucking love the "shut the fuck up" clip. I laughed
damn it, it's one of my favorite things.
so many fucking times when he played that on me. I swear to God, that was so goddamn funny.
It's good. So yeah, Days of Future Past, and then
Is that the one with the theater?
Dark
Where they're in the
Phoenix.
theater, the shut the fuck up one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Shut the fuck. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
gold.
Yeah. So Dark Phoenix Saga was probably the first trade paperback X-Men that I read. This one, when another shining Wolverine moment, but when he goes through the sewers and meticulously, brutally hunts down all of the Hellfire goons, that is amazing. We'd seen I had seen Wolverine go, berserk and just go into blind rage. That's not what this is. This is tactical. This is him hunting humans. He fucking destroys them.
But then they come back, right?
I'm sure Mikey remembers this, but when we were talking, when Avengers was going, and all the good guys were in the vault or whatever they were calling it in the MCU, I told Mikey it would be totally badass if Hawkeye had that moment of breaking all of them out and started at the bottom and just worked his way up the Citadel. Because everybody's always like talking about Hawkeye being the shit Avenger and all that stuff, but he was
Hawkeye's one of the best Avengers.
Yep.
He was a badass. They just never. How can you be a badass when you got a guy that is literally a god on the team? But in that, where all those good guys were holed up in there, to have a scene where he just worked his way up, took everybody out in the place, and released them, like that would have cemented Hawkeye as one of the most awesome Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Mikey
That's
was
not what they did. They said, "Oh no, he went and lived with his family. He's all good now."
I did like that story though. I like the whole he's got a family. I like that. But I can't remember if it was Jeff and Mikey and I, or it was just I can't remember who we were talking to amongst each other. We were talking about if they had done Hawkeye with Black Widow, doing flashbacks of them talking about all the times they had.
That was the three of us.
God, man, that would be so good. And they're like, guys, fucking do those stories. Holy shit, do you not like money?
Yeah.
No, they don't, apparently.
I really liked the Hawkeye TV show. The only problem that I had was they never paid the writer that was basically gave them the format for that entire show. Like that run of comics, that run of Hawkeye they never paid that writer or that designer, and it was like, that's some bullshit.
It is.
Oh, so then he didn't get royalties?
He didn't get a fucking cent.
Ouch.
They literally lifted it from that series.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
even to the Deco transitions and stuff, they took everything from it.
They did Kingpin dirty in the Hawkeye series, and Kate Bishop kicking 200-pound gangsters. I didn't give a shit about. Top athlete, suspend my disbelief. Great, but fucking. You've got Clint sitting there with fucking PTSD, hearing loss, the humanity. Actually, him going to that fucking the Ren Fair shit and just fucking murdering everybody.
That was awesome.
Just casually, just walking his way through the tournament. I fucking love the shit out of that. How do I get this thing? How do I get that suit from you? I got to beat you. Okay. I think Jeff and I, again, we agree on 2 movies and 1 TV show so far.
So far.
Mikey, what else you got?
Those are my 3 X books. That's them.
So I got mine right here. I don't have it in physical copy because it's in a box. But this is my favorite X-Men story. As you can see, it's a little different from what you guys are going through.
Oh, amalgam.
That is my favorite X-Men story.
Oh, boy.
So just the main storyline for this was great. just like eventually finding out why the two universes were doing what they were doing. Who gives a shit? But I just love the fact that they were like, we're gonna take all of your favorites, smoosh them together, and then we're gonna either have pure gold, Jerry, or shit. And sometimes it was shit. But
yeah, I actually did like when they did the contest where they were like telling everybody to send in your versions of them. Like I did several of them. I did an Iron Lantern and several others.
I really liked
those books.
I really loved the Dark Claw
shit.
books. Like
Oh,
I have one that I had graded like for no other reason rather than this is a pretty minty condition. It's like an 8.5, and I have the follow up like Dark Claw the animated series comic book.
I love
like,
that one with the animated cover.
Like
yeah, good.
Just when they go through like the story of that in that comic, it's like, God damn it, I want the rest of these books, and like it's just hilariously awesome to me.
I even like
fucking Jeff. Hang on, I gotta talk about Jeff for a second. Jeff sat there and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna move, and I don't give a shit about this anyway because I don't care about X-Men." And I'm like, "Do you not?" Because we talk about this all the time. He's like, "Oh yeah, I love that.
That is my favorite X-Men story of all time."
I'm like, okay, well, cool. Then you got a dog in this fight. So then Jeff changes it, right? And I'm like, okay, I got you covered, buddy. Okay. All right, X-Men versus the Avengers. All right, I got you. You know what?
Great story.
I meant the newer one. The one that came out
recently. He's changed mine twice already, chat. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm ready for him. Because he loves Fantastic Four. So I got this shit. I'm like, all right, man. You know what? He might go even weirder, chat. I got fucking Mephisto versus the X-Men. Just in case my con husband throws some fucking curveballs. What does this motherfucker do? He fucking brings up goddamn amalgam.
Yeah, just to be a troll. But no, really though, like Zach's right. Like, yeah, the Phoenix Saga is like, you know, of course, that's one of everybody's favorite X-Men story of some sort at one point. You know, the newer X-Men versus Avengers story that came out, I think 10, 15 years ago, where 5 of the main characters get the Phoenix Force and Scott goes fucking crazy. Like,
was that where the Phoenix Force? I stopped reading. Was that where they had that team of Colossus and Cyclops and Emma?
Yeah, and that's when Colossus and Magic. That's when Colossus and Magic had to fight Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was by himself, and Spider-Man beat them. Like Colossus like clobbered them a lot, and like the thought bubble was like, "Yep, that's blood in the mask right now," and like just. Like, he made them start fighting each other so that he would win, and he did, and it was fucking perfect. It was just like, that's awesome.
I did find that headcanon as I was going through all my comic books, the X-Babies.
Also, can we highlight what Abby just said a little bit ago?
Which one? The Shayna's Fun?
No.
Can I have a hint at what you're talking about?
Yeah. Anyway. But, so Age of Apocalypse, like, I remember getting the first book, and I remember reading about the team, like, Wolverine's on the team, and, like, the evil mutant Sabretooth, they all come out and blah, blah, blah. And then I remember, like, reading more into the Logan series, the Weapon X series, and, like, I always tried to find the comic, if there was, in fact, a comic, where it was that Logan versus that Cyclops when he carved out the motherfucker's eye and had his hand blown off. I don't know if that was actually drawn and written, but like if I ever find it, I want that story.
There's a couple of panels that show that fight like in a flashback that shows Wolverine, like shows the light and everything.
Yeah, and I remember
that
the
made
last
no sense at all. I think Chad and I've talked about that shit. Him not regenerating his fucking hand is fucking retarded.
Right, but at the end of like Weapon X though, the last issue, when he's fighting, he's like, "Yeah, I don't have this hand anymore, but I still got the claws," and he pops the claws on the left hand. And it's just the stump, and it's like, fuck, yes. Mm-hmm. So, Age of Apocalypse for me, fellas. Like, that's my favorite storyline from Marvel, because it was so different than everything else. But we talked about this before the show. Elseworlds is more my jam for DC. So.
Well, and that's the thing, Jeff, and I do agree, DC does have great stories, but the nice thing about an Elseworld, like we were talking about pre-show, is that it is a story where the writer gets to completely create the world, and he doesn't have to worry about 60, 65 years of history or how to tie loose ends up. So when DC does a reset every 10 or 12 years, those writers all get to start over and pretend that nothing existed again. And that does let you tell completely different stories that couldn't have been told in that other timeline. And let's all admit that before Crisis on Infinite Earths, Superman was ridiculously overpowered. But at the same time,
too far
you had
the other way
hard-traveling heroes, right? You had totally unlikely characters, Green Arrow and Green Lantern, like just walking around the country like the Incredible Hulk on the TV series, and just like random A-team type action where they were just running into stuff. Speedy's a junkie and all kinds of stuff. They were telling all these great social stories.
My sidekick is a junkie. I have that comic.
But
I enjoyed
that
Age of Apocalypse.
does get to do that. That's why Age of Apocalypse was so great, because it totally took us out of universe for a while.
Right.
Well, it was the character designs. I don't think Jerk and Gaines liked this Sabretooth at all. I fucking love this Sabretooth and him with Wild Child Malphite on that chain.
Always thought that was
the
a
Magneto design. You know,
Magneto, yeah.
Magneto, Iceman. I loved his design in that shit. Rogue was meh and like that one.
The thing I liked about Rogue was it was
Sunfire.
Sunfire was awesome.
One of the best. One of the best. Absolutely.
Nemesis was cool. I mean, there were some great character designs. The thing I liked about Rogue was it felt like they took like the version of her from pre-Fall of the Mutants, where she just has the leotard and the green like workout looking outfit. Like they said, okay, what if we did that in the 2000s?
That's it, yeah.
You know, it's just like it was that style outfit, but for a different sensibility. I just thought it was funny the way they did it.
Well, I mean, going back to what you said earlier, John, like the Old Man Logan story is my favorite Wolverine story. Even though that's so like it's exactly that. And you were talking about how you can ignore like history from like the past and everything else. Your son knows a little bit about that because I gave him the Dungeons and Dragons bug. So he's been playing in a world that I made many, many moons ago.
That's cool.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I went the rabbit hole, and this is what this whole stream's going to be about. Yeah. That is some of my favorite shit.
That is a good
Kitty
series.
Pryde and Wolverine, where Kitty wants to become better. And there's that point where she is just like trying to hold this samurai sword up, but can't do it. And then he's teaching her, and she finally gets it. She's like, "Oh, I just need to do it," and just does it. And then like it shows the transition in the panels of it, night, day, night, and then she knows she's ready. She just did it.
There's the whole story of Logan in Japan. That's probably one of my favorite Wolverine stories.
When he's like, Ogun's like, "You're a berserker, and that's all you'll ever be. You'll never be a samurai."
And then he just proves I'm fucking wrong, and it's great.
Using a poison sword during their duel, and no one knew it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! And Jeff, when he had his Wolverine costume, but then he had like the flower pattern kind of deal over his shoulders. Man,
that was a Mezco New York Comic Con exclusive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Mikey, right there. Here, let's make you big. Get you
big,
boy.
Full spread.
Yeah,
that was so good. Was that Simonson? Who was doing that one?
That's Frank Miller. Right?
Was that Miller who was doing that? Oh yeah,
Miller and Claremont.
It's hard to.
It's good.
There's very few artists that do the sequencing so perfectly like a storyboard, but Miller has done it for years.
Yeah, it's so
that's
good.
Cool.
Oh my god, that's cool.
That's cool.
Hey,
Isn't
Mikey.
that cool shit?
Hey, Mikey, you want to save that page, Mikey?
What page?
That page right there. Might get some people requesting maybe some custom works, perhaps.
The eBay page?
For maybe some ideas. God, John, I know this wasn't your fault. You can only do so much. You and Shannon did your best with this guy. I know.
I don't get past the $250 price tag.
Jeff has that pulled up. I'm not controlling that.
I need you to memorize that so you can make a character that will be far cheaper and more accessible that people can pay you money to create, because that is what you do.
What do I need other people's work for that? I have all the reference material I need right here, you asshole.
You have the picture.
John, again, I know this isn't your fault. Okay.
Yeah, I'll save the fucking picture from the comic book that I fucking own, Zach. I'll save it. It'll be right here on my goddamn desk. Is that what you fucking want from me? It'll be right fucking here. Is that helpful enough?
Will it be on your computer though?
Somebody's been reading too much Wolverine lately. You need to calm down.
Also, that eBay picture looked nothing like the comic book.
No, and neither will mine, you shit ass motherfucker.
Like, Mikey, I'm gonna pay you for this custom. You'll take this one. You'll fucking like it.
You'll like it.
it.
Fucking like it. Eat the cat.
My custom figure that I've always never wanted. Thanks.
You will cherish this till the day you fucking die.
Do you want to show the thing off when it came from the collection? That the one thing I fucking made you? Yeah, here.
Look, guys, we had enough arguing with my parents. My mom almost killed us on the freeway. So, like, I don't need another domestic dispute call. We're good. We're fine. Everybody is okay.
We're drama farming.
Calm down.
We're drama farming. I think we gained like one viewer.
I think we did too.
Yeah.
You listen to me, you son of a bitch.
Oh, what were we going to zoom in for, Mikey? Do you remember that whole thing? What we're going to do when someone's showing something off? Is that what we're
Yeah,
gonna
when
do?
Jeff was showing something and I did the zoom in.
We are at 43, by the way, which is a record for us. So,
oh, hey.
Thank you all very much for coming and watching. I hope you're having a great time.
We need Mikey to lose his shit some more. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so Greg said it earlier. That's the Frank Miller Logan story run thing. And like, once again, is there anything Frank Miller can't do? Well, he can't make a good movie, but I mean, he can write a fucking good comic book.
What?
He's not a good director. I said what I said.
Sin City is amazing.
You're right, it is, but not because of him.
300 is amazing.
He didn't write that.
Wait, are you saying director?
Yeah.
What did he direct?
Sin City.
D's nuts.
City. God, how are we friends?
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Also, HGC. That All-Star Batman was really fucking rough. Oof. That's bad.
When was that? What kind of time frame was that?
There's at the same time the All-Star Superman came out, and they're like, we can do this again with Frank Miller and Batman. That's just a great thing that Batman does. But Frank Miller was like, no, this is my Batman when he was young. Fuck. And like,
did he direct RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
Fucking
RoboCop 3.
2.
Well, he was in RoboCop 2 as well.
You don't want to,
RoboCop
you can't. You also have to say that when Miller, some of the best comic work he ever did was with Jansson's inks, right? And a lot of people always forget about inkers, and everybody's all like, yeah, but the inker, blah, blah, blah. Because you got guys like Jim Lee that basically shade it for the inker and are like, you put the dark right here. Where Jansson took Frank's layouts and made them so stark, the Bullseye Daredevil scene, that's classic in the comics with the blinds in the background and all that. That is ink work at its finest, right? But it still portrays the sequence of the fight, So, credit where credit's due. Jansson is an amazing inker.
Well, and Jeff and I talk about this all the time. Dark Knight Returns with Frank Miller is
absolutely.
That's my favorite fucking Batman.
And the nice thing about it is both of their styles had matured and changed, Jansson's and Miller's, right? So you had this. It matched the time frame of the comic. Like you were supposed to. This takes you to a future Batman, an older world, and their styles had changed so much since like Daredevil and Wolverine. So that like matched the feeling of the story. It pulled you into it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful story. I love that comic.
So you can have the best story in the world, like for a comic book, but if you don't have the art that matches the story, you've got a shit book on your hands.
100%.
The story Justice by Alex Ross. It's a shit story. It's a cookie cutter fucking DC superhero story. But the art is fucking magnificent. So like you get pulled into it. It's not Kingdom Come, that's for goddamn sure. But it is another good story.
Yeah.
Well, like when Bart Sears had his little, comic run with what it was like him and her, or whatever that little thing was, his just generic characters. Well, Bart Sears' art is fucking amazing. So I didn't give a shit about the story. But when two of them align, Kingdom Come. Holy shit.
Yeah. But I mean, we could go all day about comics and everything else. But so, chat, you've all been here for this whole thingamajig, X-Men comics and everything else. What else would you like to see us talk about? More comics, more movies? We're all down for it. But maybe we'll do a favorite DC story next week.
I was just thinking that earlier, brother. I was like, for you especially. I mean, again, I've got a ton of DC, man. So I've got some DC story arc. But you know what? Yeah, it'd be tough. It's probably Dark Knight. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Hush. Like it's probably a toss up
I never read Hush
or Hush or Black Mirror. The Dick Grayson solo Batman story. That was another great one. The Gates of Gotham. That was a good story too. Anyway, yeah. So
let's see here. We got Figure Fight Club.
So
DC,
Batman the Cult is awesome.
DC.
We'll talk about that Aquaman run where he got his water hand.
Well, when Arthur became the Ocean Master thing, when they changed in the 90s and he had the blue wave ocean thing, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah. And The Rocketeer is an awesome comic and a fun movie, Mr. Frog.
Hey, Jeff Butler, what's up, buddy?
Jeff Butler, The Long Halloween is a good one too.
Jeff Butler is
the follow-up, Dark Victory, was a good one too, with the Hangman and shit. Fuck yeah.
Oh, and John said it earlier, Crisis, man. I almost overlook it. John, literally, it's like, it's so good, I don't want to talk about that one. Crisis was amazing.
Yeah, and even if you don't go to all the spin-off books and just read the issues, and another one that people forget about is Invasion.
Invasion is a good one. Not a lot of people like that though, but
it's really interesting, the whole concept of the aliens like capturing humans and murdering them to see what the percentage of that might have superpowers.
Right.
Like, it's so cool. Like
Young Justice did a riff on that. They took that story and did it for Young Justice, and it was really well done.
Then I do know that because that's the only thing I've ever seen was the Young Justice version, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but is Invasion is that Liefeld art? Early Liefeld?
No, Nico, stop it.
Let me check.
Yeah, check that out. I want to say it was an artist that later became very prominent, and I thought it was him.
Jerk, are we talking there was a crossover with Batman and Image Deathblow? Or is that a story arc? Because Cult on Batman was also really fucking good. That also sticks out in my head as far as storylines.
What about Batman versus Grendel?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
So Todd McFarlane,
Batman versus Predator, I got that dug out too.
Batman Predator, the armor that he makes is so badass.
So the Todd McFarlane was the artist on that.
It was McFarlane, okay.
McFarlane,
okay. When he was doing year 2, when he did issues 2, 3, and 4 of Batman year 2.
I knew it was one of those guys that went on to do something, but it's so early version of him that it's not as clean as like year 2, right? It's just not.
No, it's not. But year 2 is another one of my favorite fucking Batman stories. Like, it's so good. Anyway,
and McFarlane's art in that story is so good. With you can really see his draftsman, his background with the cape, how it angles out. It's so cool.
It's like classic scalloped cape and everything else, and just like being crazy. It's just awesome.
Well, we had at least 3 people, Jeff, say DC. So I think that's enough. I think we do DC, right?
Yeah. Do we want to keep it broad, or do we want to narrow it down like we did with X?
My bad, Brian. I thought he did 2, 3, and 4. Why don't we pick our favorite character from DC storyline?
Okay.
Story arc or character?
We'll do story arc, like with that character, like story arc and story and character.
Because that's probably gonna be hand in hand, right?
Right.
Yeah. Instead of limiting it into a version or a team, just like what your favorite story is.
Just not Justice League Detroit, because fuck those guys.
I see. I wasn't reading, but Abby, I'll tell you this right now: it's Jeff's going to be Mayfix. I'll probably have some McFarlane I'll showcase like I was doing tonight, Because if we have stuff like this, I'm gonna whip up some figures where I'm like, oh yeah, I love this, I love that.
I might have a NECA surprise up my sleeve about that alien or that Predator and Batman. By the way, might have a little story
Well,
if I can find it.
Sneak peeks.
Have they did that Batman, Jeff?
They did the Batman versus Predator in the reflective armor. The only problem is that it's blue and gray and not black.
Jeff, he doesn't need to hear that right now.
Okay.
That's going to be a fucking problem.
John, it's $100 on eBay. John, it's only $100 on eBay.
Yeah, okay. I'm out. It doesn't fit the Deathstroke armored Lex Luthor shelf, so it can't compete.
And Deathstroke, Blade, so good. Teen Titans, oh man, Jeff. Judas contract.
Judas contract.
Judas contracted.
Well, I got to do some thinking here. Got to do some thinking.
Because for me,
I know my selection, but oof.
The first thing that pops in my mind is Hal Jordan losing it and taking everybody's rings. That storyline of his total mental breakdown.
Parallax?
Yeah, the
Parallax makes me want to punch babies. That's not fucking Hal Jordan.
No, it's when he went crazy after they took away Coastal City after it got destroyed and he remakes it. Is that Emerald Twilight?
Yes.
Yeah.
When he started gathering up power rings.
So so he tries to create Coast City, and then the Owens take his ring. They say you use it for selfish reasons, so they take it from him, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he systematically goes through the ranks of the Green Lantern Corps and starts wearing their rings, and just goes like total badass.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, Zakainen, is because it wasn't Hal Jordan. You know, I mean, he had literally lost his mind. And it was showing what would happen to a hero for a legitimate reason that they lost it. The stuff that happened after that, I really didn't care. But I love the fact that they took a hero that I love Hal Jordan. I don't necessarily like the way they portray him in some of the cartoons. It's like the goofball and all that. But the Hal Jordan that I grew up with the hard traveling heroes and all that. Yeah. This was a guy that the way they showed us his willpower was they were in jail, they got locked up, and he used his straight willpower to make his ring come to him from where they had it locked up. And it was like, as a kid, I was like, damn.
I watched him sit there with Jon Stewart when somebody had his ring. Neither one of them had their ring. And this guy tried to use his ring on Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan uses willpower to deflect that shit, even though he wasn't wearing the ring. Hal Jordan's a fucking monster. I love Hal Jordan. He would never become Parallax. Mikey, you're number one again.
My favorite Green Lantern moment was Identity Crisis, when they're fighting outside of Green Arrow's loft, like the Brownstone, and Dr. Light shows up. I think it's this book. Somehow they get into the basement, and like Ollie's goes through his safe, and he's like, Hal said never to use this unless it's, super important, and like the only thing that Oliver can create is a fucking green arrow, and fires it at a guy and like nearly collapses. And he's like, Hal did that all the time and was fine? What the fuck, Like, just showing you like what kind of level a Green Lantern's on. And I also like the Green Lantern story where Batman got a fucking Green Lantern ring and was like, fuck you, I do what I want.
All right. Hold up. This is what we're going to go into next week, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, we're giving up gold here, okay?
Gold, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry, go.
We got to ek treats out. We don't give all the treats out.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do some shouting out. John, you're the guest. What do you want to shout out? Do anything you want to plug?
I can't really think of anything. There's something that I would probably talk about.
Where's the best place to find you? Is it here on Mikey's channel?
Yeah, I mean, always want to plug this. Something Mikey and I have talked about for years, and finally getting to do something with it. We're still working out the kinks of how we're going to get it started. But the Longbow, if any of you guys collect the Callsign Longbow stuff, you know that Ghost is shipping now. My buddies over at Skeletron announced this morning that they will be the retail. You'll be able to get the Robo Skull. So if you missed it, you will
Tomorrow,
be able
right?
to get it now. Yeah, tomorrow. I think MSRP is like $250 for it, and then the stand is $35. And I'm going to tell you that stand is worth every penny. Chad did that video with it, and when he put it on the stand, it's just Chad's video of it. I love it because he just goes into detail of every little piece of it. You know that.
You guys definitely check out Chad's video on that Robo Skull because it is awesome. You'd think I would have plugged It's Chad by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great video to watch. Chad goes through it all. It's it's got his background and everything, and you see all the stuff in the background. And so to see he's got all the stuff in the background, and that is focused on that Robo Skull, and he puts it on the. Oh man, it's cool. It's cool. It's definitely worth watching that. So I'll kind of plug Chad there too with that, like showing that thing off. But yeah, so a couple of KUKs, Callsign Longbow's ghost figure, Robo Skull. It is Chad.
Let me try it again. Say, Jeffy, you want to go?
Yeah, somebody said that there was a Green Lantern Batman figure up for pre-order.
Yeah, I did see that on one of the updates I got from somebody.
I need to know where this is at.
Who's it from? Who's making it?
I don't know. Somebody said it.
I don't know.
Somebody said the thing.
Somebody said the thing, and now I want the thing.
Because I mean, I've got the McFarlane one, but
That sounds like pre-show, doesn't it, Jeff?
A little bit.
Give me the thing. I want the thing. Find the thing.
You can get the McFarlane thing on fucking BBTS right now, though. Oh, it's McFarlane.
Okay, never mind. I'll wait for the Mathix version.
Fucking A, Cotton.
All right, well, I shot that link to Jerk about that Robo Skull, like sending it out to everybody. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna go retail tomorrow. Is what it looks like.
Jerk,
Not mine shows up
in
tomorrow, so I might get a second one if I can tomorrow because I'm greedy.
I was gonna do that for my opening thing, but it takes like 20 minutes to get it open, and I was like, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I do not blame you, Jeff. What do you want
I
to
opened the SE, and that's on my shelf already, but I hadn't opened the regular version.
Starting in January, if you like fat guys that play video games, you can catch me over on my Twitch channel, which I'll be getting ready to do, is I'll be doing 4 days a week of gaming for 4 hours a day.
What do you got a particular game, or do you just pop around?
So I'm going to start off with Baldur's Gate 3, because that is my favorite game currently. And then I'm going to work my way probably through Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to play heavy story-based games. I don't like shooters or anything like that, so, I don't like Fortnite or shit, so.
Apparently, we need to start playing Marvel Rivals because everybody else is doing it.
Holy shit! Like no shit. That's all I'm hearing about is play Marvel Rivals. It's like Overwatch. That's
It
great.
makes you not want to do it, right? You're like,
that's cool.
It does look.
I don't
fun.
care anymore.
Mikey's like, it does look pretty fun.
It looks fun. Like I'm imagining like how Dad and I used to do the Halo games when we just like waste an entire weekend just destroying motherfuckers.
I like LAN shooters. So we're gonna go back. I like LAN shooter party games. I don't like playing a shooter online with people. I'd rather go to somebody's house, hook up my computer box, and fucking go to town. Yeah, anyway.
Shane, I did too, but I still had fun at it. That was like the last thing I really played before Fortnite with Overwatch.
I played so my ex-girlfriend Emily, she loved Overwatch and always begged me to play Overwatch. And she'd always play the fucking cowboy, and I'd always play like the old guy with the big hammer. I don't even remember his fucking name.
Reinhardt.
There it is. I have his action figure.
That action figure's fucking cool, man. All those action figures were fucking cool. YouTube here.
Destiny 2 is a good shit. It's a story-based fucking game, and it's awesome.
I like that. I like story-based games.
Same.
I like sandbox games.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
I think right now, right now I downloaded the Indiana Jones game because it's free if you have Xbox Game Pass, and I play all my Xbox games on my computer, and I'm really looking forward to heading deep into fucking Indiana Jones, mostly because you get to kill World War II German soldiers. That's a fucking win.
That is good. That is.
By the
good.
way, Tony, yes, I see that you fixed this comment on your next comment because I love shooters.
Disgusting.
That one little deal, right? Disgusting.
It's gross.
Shame that man.
I'm terrible at
Shame
shooters
him.
too. That's why I want Mikey to play with me, so I can just stand behind him and hit everything.
Mike's just murdering kids.
Yeah, I just go Leroy
Oh,
Jenkins and run in, and Mikey's like, "God damn it, sniper rifle!"
Yeah. Also,
do it myself.
I had a horrible MMO. I had a horrible MMO addiction as well. Like World of Warcraft, I was that guy that played every day I got off work until I went to sleep, and then sometimes I wouldn't sleep. I raided 7 days a week, and so I'm trying to avoid any MMO at this point. So
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
My problem is any game that you start building things. Like I will spend hours building things. Fallout 4. I will just.
Fallout 4.
I'll just all I go do is go around and get the bases and start building them up.
John,
he's also a big fan of 7 Days to Die.
7 Days to Die. I have
He's a big fan.
thousands of hours in several different versions of that game. I still like to play it on PS4 because they never updated that cart. So if you're playing it on PC, they have gone way off the rails on it, but you still play that old version and
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
Shopping malls all day.
So John, you should check out Sons of the Forest.
I got that. That is actually in one of my queues.
Yes, there's a storyline, but the building and crafting system.
Yeah, I love
crafting.
Mikey, sweet Jesus, you better plug some stuff off. You better go, buddy, and then I'm after you. Go. We'll be here all goddamn night.
Yep, well, that's true. That's true. So I'll plug the couple of KUKs. We like that. We're on that. Dad is working on all kinds of stuff. He didn't talk about, but he is really going hard into the 3D modeling and or printing. Yeah, it's a three knuckler for sure. He's deep. Yeah, and then we've got sometimes one or two of us is on Monday Night Raw. That's been fun. Appreciate Jerk and Gaines for those opportunities.
You and Legend, that was a great show Monday.
Oh, I really enjoyed. Yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. Every other Wednesday, you can catch me on It's Chad with Scuba Pete doing our Three Stooges. And real sounding quick, like we're gonna
that catalog, the Pete fan that you guys did. Dude, I was fucking enthralled because again, they had the whole Fisher Price. They had the adventure people section. Oh my god, such a good show.
But shit, all we really have to do is go talk to John and be like, "Hey, can we see your collection?" And then that catalog will suck.
We've got our ace in the hole, gentlemen. Don't you take him, it's Chad. You stay away from John.
Fight. So you every other Wednesday. Not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday we'll be back on it. Sounding like we're probably going to keep going with the catalogs for a while because they're really entertaining. So we've got that. Yeah, that's all I have that I'm aware of at this current moment.
Yeah, other than our show that we're on now.
Well, they obviously know about that. They're here.
I honestly plug it anyway because I'm like, oh, damn, I'm gonna forget what show am I on? What should I do? I don't know what.
Well,
I
hope everyone can figure it out.
Oh,
Headcanon, this is a weekly show. We just do it on Mikey's channel, then Zach's channel, then my channel. We're just
keep rotating that. We've talked back and forth over this, and just the way we're gonna keep doing it. It's almost like a speakeasy. You got to know.
You got to know. Yeah, be watching stories. That's
watching.
It's pretty much it. Watch if you go to the gram and check us all out, and
go to the social.
you want to join us again for another barroom nerd discussion where you overhear a conversation and you enjoy the conversation and you are a nerd, come sit at the table with us next time, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
I'm plugging stuff, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't fucking gone yet. I know. That's why I was trying to like. Hey, tomorrow night, boom.
I did that fucking great outro, and
I know. Of course, you did it right at the wrong time.
You blew your load. You blew your load.
It came too fast. I came too fast.
It sucks, man.
Biological, man. It's biological. But yeah, check out Obby. Sub to Obby. I just linked it out there. Figure Fight Club. I'll be on there. Tony, Legend Series, Illustrated Figs, Ninja tomorrow night. Next week, I'm not even plug my own channel because I don't have the link up, so I don't care. It's my name. It's not that hard. Check the socials. We'll have figured it out on my deal next week. It'll be us three again, and then I don't want to plug anything else. Jerk and Gaines Monday night. Mike already said it. Thursday Night Thunder again. Legend Series pre-roll. Same time. I'm a jerk because I didn't link same time tonight. I'm a bad friend to Shane, and Shane is awesome. One of you guys need to plug Same Time Toys because I don't have it.
Go check out Same Time Toys tomorrow on Smokin' Joe's. Mikey is a guest host. Starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. You should check that out on Same Time Toys.
Smokin' Joe's tomorrow?
Yeah, Friday.
I thought it was on Saturdays. Shane, clarify that in the chat, buddy.
It was last Friday night. Shane, am I supposed to be on there this week?
Guys, we are super professional here. Okay.
We're still working out the details.
We're still.
Jeff, you thought I was going to do it. You thought I was going to do it, but I didn't.
You have to. It's like I can't finish. I got to finish, Mikey. All right, there. I posted that. Same time. Who wore it better? Check out Same Time. Is Saturday morning streams as well. I hope that link works, Shane. If not, do it. I'm probably forgetting something because we know everybody in the whole thing. 3 POA Wednesdays, Saturdays. I think that's Saturday. I think Laser Pants is going to be on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
John, thank you very much, brother. That was awesome, and we're going to keep talking after this because we're going to talk for another 2 hours post stream.
So, if you like sitting in a nerd bar and overhearing a conversation that you'd like to join us next week and pull up to the bar and have a drink.
Bye.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Eat my short.
Go fuck yourself.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Flush that turd down the drain. Avenge me! Avenge me!
Thank you. Thank you.